read between the lines when they getting out of place. Help me run this marathon. Help me run to keep my pace. Holy Father, please forgive me, cause you know I make mistakes. Help me when I feel condemned. Help me know that's not the case. Lord, I need you.
What's good, y'all? Welcome to the Substitute Preacher Podcast. I'm your host, Isaiah Johnson, aka the Substitute Preacher. I have the pleasure of interviewing my very own sister. So everyone,
Hey
welcome
guys.
the beautiful Christina Johnson.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Great. You got off work.
Yeah.
Did you nap? I know you talked about
No, we couldn't nap. Lay was jump roping, King, jumping around.
So no nap. So hopefully you're awake. But at least you did your hair. Your hair looks nice.
Thanks.
And you're representing. Nice shirt. But yeah, I'm really excited to have you on and interview you. We're in this series called Get to Work, and just looking to highlight people of different industries and careers. I really wanted to have you on early because you haven't quite yet started your career.
Mm-hmm.
However, you do have a lot of experience when it comes to schooling, and you're still kind of on your education journey now. Which we'll get into in a little bit. And then you also work as well. So full-time student, working and just doing it right. So hopefully I know you have a lot of good insight and wisdom that you could share with the viewers. So great to have you on.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Definitely. I had mentioned, so Chrissy's my sister.
Mm-hmm.
There's three of us. I'm the oldest. She's the youngest. Mm-hmm. So let's start off by that. With that, just talk about your experience. The youngest of three. What was that like for you? I'll let you take the floor.
Okay. The youngest, it's fun, to be honest. Like, I feel like you're always kind of like a cool kid because you have older siblings. So say if you're at church, if you're at school, you know you have that status of the older kids. Kind of. So that was always fun, like being the youngest and being around older kids. I always felt like I was grown, like one of you guys. But even with that, sometimes that had its downsides because when you guys would branch off with your group, I'm stuck and I'm like, oh no, like I have to make friends now. So that was kind of tough. But being the youngest is cool, like it does have its perks. But I will say, like, I was thinking, and I always see posts of how younger siblings are, like, spoiled and stuff. I wasn't spoiled as much as people be posting, so I think you guys owe me or something. Reparations, because, yeah. But anyways, no, it was always fun. We always had stuff to do. We would be outside, and because we lived in, like, an apartment complex at the time, there was always kids, so that was fun. We would be outside, mobbing to the parks, or playing football, keep away, all them type of things. So being the youngest was always cool. It was fun for sure.
Most definitely. So it was the three of us, and then I'm trying to think. I'm about 4 or 5 years old.
4 and a half.
So around the time you were kind of getting ready to decide like what was next for you while you were in high school, I was off in college.
Yeah.
So that was always weird for me, and it did kind of suck. And I do have some like kind of regrets. Like, man, I wasn't there to be around my sisters and obviously mom and dad too. But what was kind of your mindset on the tail end of high school? What did you have a plan? Like, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to get into college, or what was that like?
So I changed my major, the idea, like not even major before I even get to that. My career choice, like that I wanted, in the beginning it was always medical. Like I wanted to be a physical therapist at one point. Then I wanted to be a nurse, a doctor. Like it just kept changing, radiologist. This was before I even left high school. I'm kind of just thinking like, okay, what do I want to do? Like, I want to make money, but I also want to help people. I want to feel smart, be smart. So I kind of knew, like, okay, let me be in that medical field. So you asked about, like, a plan, right? Mm-hmm. Even though I had the idea of what I wanted to do, I didn't know the steps on how to get into what I wanted to do. So, like, a lot of times people have the idea of, like, oh, I'm going to be a doctor, like, yeah, let me just go to school. But they don't know, oh, you got 4 years, 8 years, like all types of many years to get it done.
Yep.
So that's kind of where I was at. It was one of those things, like I had big dreams, but like I didn't know where to go. So when high school happened, like my senior year, I'm like, I know I have to go to college. Like in my head, that's the way to do it. Like, cool, mom and dad always instilled in us, like, go to school, get your education, you know, all of those things. So I was a smart student. Like my senior year, I ended with the 4.0. But one thing that I will say is, like, I didn't try my best all the time. Like, I knew I could get the grades easily, but I didn't always push myself to get the highest grades. Like, you know, if I had a B, it's like, okay, like, that's fine, rather than saying, like, no, let me get that A. Like, let me work a little bit harder and push myself. So my senior year, I did make it a point, like, no, let me apply myself. These classes aren't that hard to where I can't get a 4.0. You know, like that was one of my goals that I did set, and I did finish with a 4.0. So, yay me. But anyways, so senior year, I didn't get into any of the UCs that I applied to. My number one school at the time was UC San Diego. I wanted to go there. And the highest GPA they accepted my year was a 4.3. And so I was like, yeah, I'm nowhere near that ballpark. Like, it's looking rough. So that was discouraging for me because I didn't get in. The schools that I applied to, I only applied to 6, I think it was. It was 4 UCs and then 2 CSUs. And the only school I got into was San Francisco State University. So with that, when I didn't get in, that was discouraging. I kind of was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, I always felt like I worked hard in school to go to just a community. Like, that was my pride getting in the way. Like, I'm too good to go to Chabot. Like, everybody goes to Chabot. Everybody goes to East Bay type of thing. So I just accepted my acceptance letter for SFSU, excuse me. And that was the start of, like, my college journey, just accepting my enrollment.
For sure. And how long were you there?
So I was there for a year. I did 2 semesters, and that was a mistake.
Yeah, so share on that. Why was it a mistake?
Yeah, so it was a mistake.
What was that like?
For a lot of reasons. Sorry, it was a mistake for a lot of reasons because, one, we just moved to Manteca, and so I wasn't staying on campus, didn't even look into it. Like, once I accepted my enrollment, it was just like, what's next? And having parents that didn't go to college, that makes it so much more difficult navigating what to do. It's like, I don't know, like, you know just as much as me, and now you have deadlines, now you have tuition due, now you have to find your classes, meet up with counselors. You know, there's so much that goes into accepting your enrollment, and I just didn't have a plan. Like, it kind of was like, looking back, I wish that mom and dad and I, we all sat down, and it was one of those things like, okay, financially, how are we going to cover this? How are you going to get there? How are you going to do all of those things? So we didn't do that. And I commuted for my first year, so I would wake up at 4 in the morning.
Ooh.
I would wake up at 4 in the morning with dad. We'd ride to Hayward. We'd ride to Hayward, and he'd drop me off at the BART station at like 5:30 in the morning, 6. I take the train all the way to the last stop, Daly City, catch a shuttle bus, and then get to campus at like, let's say 6 in the morning, right? Wow. Yeah, so the commute was not it at all. It was just miserable.
And then what about getting back?
Oh, so I would go to my classes. Yes, I would go to my classes. As soon as class ended, I would run to the bus. Like, go to the bus, it'd be packed. You know, you're in the city. Everybody commutes public transportation. So it would be like, you got to hop on the bus, like, or you miss it. And you know how dad don't like to wait for nobody. So I'd be like, I got to go. Pushing through or whatever. So I would do the same thing. Get on the shuttle, take BART, meet up with dad, and we'd hop on the freeway. What's crazy, funny, quick little commute story. One day there was an accident on every single highway, and we were in traffic literally for like 9 hours. Like, it was crazy. We were like, heck no. So it just wasn't a good experience. And on top of that, I didn't really like the school. Like, it's a commuter school for sure, so you're not getting that, like, um, what is it? Community, like, building, or, even just, everybody's just on the go. Like, they're trying to get in and get out. So, trying to network, even all of those things that people look forward to for the college experience, you're not getting that there. It's kind of just get in, get out.
Yep.
And so, yeah.
For sure. It's funny, you just got me thinking, there's like a theme in, especially with us trying to, but with our ride situation, like always, I was going over there at 6 in the morning, leaving at 8. Same thing when I was going to city, I was Barton and coming back, they didn't pick me up.
Man, I gotta walk.
I think I talked about that, walking. So it's good to have cars now.
Man, for sure.
But okay, so good stuff, and I think that's definitely just a learning point, especially for you students out there, junior, senior, starting to look at schools and get ready for that process. Yes, getting accepted into a university or a college is awesome. Like, that's, major props for that. However, like you said, you kind of, it's like, junior college is a little frowned upon. Like, I'm better than that.
Yeah.
However, junior college is just, it's a tool. It's a, it's a vehicle that, okay, yeah, maybe it's not as elegant or as, ideal, but it can get you to where you're trying to go. So
I think it is more ideal, actually.
Yeah.
Like, on paper, it makes sense. Like, especially as high schoolers, you don't necessarily know what you want to do for sure. Like how I said, I changed my mind every day. It was kind of like, do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? So with that, I feel like community college gives you an opportunity to not only, one, save money, but you also have time, and instead of taking a gap year like some people like to do to just work, you're figuring out what it is that you want to do.
Yeah.
And so that's why I liked the idea of community once I got into it and then transferred where I'm at now.
Definitely. And yeah, like you said, it's so hard unless, some people, they're passionate about a certain industry or certain career, and you go down that path. And then even then, sometimes they end up not liking it. Spent all those years in school. And I shared this in one of the other episodes. On average, in a lifespan, people have 12, 13 jobs. And, that might include 3 or 4 different careers. So junior college is a tool, and it's a way to kind of figure some things out, save money in the process, and just hopefully find or get some more answers on what you want to do long term. So junior college, that was kind of the next step. So you said, all right, SF ain't for me. How did you end up, or I'll give you the floor. What did you do following that?
I feel like those years are kind of a blur, but one thing that I will say is it just so happened that I moved back home, so I was staying at a friend's house, or no, I'm not there yet, actually, sorry. So I was like, I'm not doing this commute stuff no more. My last semester, Dad and I, we were in an accident, someone hit us, and so from then on I started riding with Mom. It was just like a whole ordeal, and it was worse commuting with Mom because she would leave later, so I was late to my class all the time. My professor's like complaining, and I'm like, dang, well, I'm coming from Antigua, like, what the heck? So anyways, I just never re-enrolled for the next classes. Like, that was it. Like, I don't even know if we're supposed to send a letter saying, like, we're done, but I was done. So I left, I came back home, but I knew, like, okay, I need to find a community college at this point because we did take out a Parent Plus loan. Our parents took out a Parent Plus loan for me to go there, which that in itself was a mistake, too.
All right, well, why?
It's a mistake because that lets you know that school's too much. Like, I didn't know what I wanted to do. It's just like, am I going to do that for 4 years? Are they supposed to take out a chunk sum of money to help cover the rest of my tuition? So that's why it's a mistake. Like, again, if this is, like how he said, if it's something that you want to do, you're passionate, you have a plan, your parents are involved, awesome, like, make it work. But we didn't have a plan. It was just kind of like, I don't know. I guess we got to take out a loan. Like, that's what we got to do. And I think that's kind of where college does get students and young adults, 18-year-olds who, 17, 18-year-olds who are going into the adult world, you know, the big world.
Yeah.
They finesse you. And so that was a mistake.
Yeah.
But what was your question before why that was a mistake?
Just the transition.
Oh, yeah. So I left, never re-enrolled. I don't even think counselors reached out to me. Like, that's how bad of a school it was. I didn't like it. Don't go there, y'all. I don't advise it, for real.
Dang.
Also, when I went, they over-enrolled. So I was only able to get 3 classes each semester. So I wasn't even full-time. And then also, we didn't qualify for financial aid. I didn't. So that's why mom and dad had to take out the loan. Looking back, and I'm like, what do you mean we don't qualify? Like, we ain't rich. Like, we need to qualify. So, anyway, so I moved back home, and I started looking around for community colleges. And in the Valley, like, we didn't move out here until my senior year. So I just know the Bay at this point, you know. Like, I'm like, what the heck? What's San Joaquin? What's Lathrop? What's Manteca? Like, I don't know. And keep in mind, I did not have a car. So that was one of those things, like, public transportation out here isn't huge because it's a developing area. So with that, it's like you need a car to get to the next city, or, you know, even to get 20 minutes away. Like, it's a far reach. So I was kind of trying to map it out, and then, you know, like, a door opened where I could move in with Lonnie and her mom, which is a childhood friend that I grew up with. So she was like, she moved back from Arkansas. So she was like, I'm going to be going to Chabot, blah, blah, blah. We were just chopping it up, talking about our plans. She was staying at our house, spending the night. She was like, do you want to move in and come to Chabot with me? And I'm 18, like, yeah, that sounds so fun. Like, I'm not going to be at home, Chabot. Like, yeah, now Chabot's lit, you know? So I'm like, yeah, let's do it. I kid you not, that same day, I packed all my stuff and haved with her when we were going back home. So I moved in with Lonnie and her mom. And I was at Chabot. We both got enrolled, and they helped us find our classes and stuff. I love Chabot. Like, I wish I got to finish there. I only did 1 year there, but it was nice. It was fun. Like, it was a fun time. Like, even though, like, it was a cool college experience, I would say. Like, meeting a lot of people, a lot of events. Like, there was a lot going on to where it was like, okay, like, this is cool, even for a community college.
Yeah.
And one thing that I will say, like, I felt like I fit in because it was more diverse. So, like, being at the school that I'm at now, it's not really, you'll see maybe 20 black people, if that, like, and it's just like, oh, okay, like, you're for sure an outsider. So anyways, I was enjoying Chabot, but then circumstances happened to where I had to move back home. So again, now I got to look for community colleges to transfer to. And so during this time, I changed my major from, I was a bio major. I wanted to be a doctor. And I realized bio's not for me. Like, it either comes for you naturally or it doesn't. And I would literally be crying, doing homework assignments, studying for tests, like, up all night. Like, I need to go to bed because I don't get it. At this point, I'm just going to fail. So I was like, I can't do this. So I changed my major to nursing. So I went from bio, the hard one, to nursing, the more, you know, subtle sciences and stuff or whatever. So anyways, doing nursing, but at this time I was still taking general ed classes. So it wasn't like my foot was on the gas where it's like, okay, cool.
Committed.
Yeah, I wasn't committed. And so during that time, I'm just taking classes, it's cool. But then it started getting to the point of like, all right, you have to narrow it down. Like, you need to take these classes for your major, you need to decide. And so I'm like, okay, so I quickly realized also that nursing just wasn't for me. I didn't want to do it. And how I discovered that was I took care of grandma when she had knee surgery.
That's right.
So our grandma, she had knee surgery, and everybody was working and stuff. And I don't know how it ended up happening where I was taking care of her. So I'm taking care of G, and I hated it. And I was like, heck no. Like, I can't be
Who
changing.
hated it more, you or her?
Grandma. I think grandma. She called
Rumor
me.
has it she bullied my grandma.
No. Grandma didn't want to do physical therapy like the doctors told her. And I'm like, Grandma, you have to. So anyways, taking care of Grandma, that made me realize quickly, how am I supposed to say I want to be a nurse and I don't even want to take care of Grandma right now? Like, I'm not going to be that person for the money, to just do it. No. So I was like, no, I don't want to do that no more. So it still was a constant battle of what do I want to do? What do I want to do? Like, I don't know. And a lot of times people are mistaken that your major has to do with your career. And most of the time what I've learned is people do things like that have nothing to do with their major. And yeah, you go to school and you think, or at least I used to think, oh, my major is going to figure it out for me. And then, you're humbled when you realize, no, that's not the case. Or, oh, for that major, you're only making $19 they're offering you.
Yeah. And
it's like, what? Like, I'm going to college, spending all this money to barely bring in whatever amount they're offering that's low.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just trying to figure it out. But then I ended up enrolling at Delta College. Yep, Delta Community College. And so because I still didn't know what major I wanted, I still was doing my general ed. So this happened right before the pandemic. So I did one semester on campus, and then right after it was like 2020 hit, it was my spring semester. Yeah, it was spring semester. I was in my pre-calculus class, and they're like, we're not having class no more. Like, we're going to be remote. And that's how I heard about the pandemic. So I was like, what? Like, what is the pandemic? What is a pandemic? What's quarantine? Like, figuring stuff out. So I finished that semester off online. And then I wasn't liking that. I was like, heck no. They were figuring it out. We were figuring it out as students. So I just kind of felt like, school right now isn't for me. So I took a break.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, I just was working. And I wasn't even full-time. I was part-time, just kind of chilling, enjoying life, being young. So around this time, I'm like 19. Yeah, going out, thinking I'm cool. Me and Chan would kick it with some friends. We had a friend group that would go out all the time. And, one of our friends had their own apartment. So we would just be chilling, me and Chan, a group of us. So it was fun. But during this time, I started questioning, is school really for me? And I was like, it shouldn't be this hard for me to decide what I want to major in. It shouldn't be so many hiccups where I have to decide, can I get into these classes, or the counselors aren't helping. Like, there was just so many bumps in the road that had me discouraged, where I kind of was like, I don't want to do this. I don't think school's meant for me. So I was working. I thought about being an electrician. Dad convinced me. Looking at me, I'm not an electrician. Let's be for real, okay? So I took the test. I passed. Had the interview. I think I scored really high, actually. And also, they want women in the field.
Yeah,
so
diverse.
Yeah, everything was going quickly for me. So I had the job interview. They liked me. I had orientation for a job. And keep in mind, this is also pandemic. So I had orientation for a job. He said, within 2 weeks, we'll have work for you. So have your stuff ready. I had the tools. I was about to buy my boots, like all that.
Mm-hmm.
They never reached out to me for a job. And I was like, I don't want to do it. Like, thank you, but
that was the sign.
That was the sign. And keep in mind, during this time, I should add that I was really going back and forth, like tug of war. Is this what I really want to do? I'm asking everybody, can you see me as an electrician for real? Like, I just knew in my gut, like, that wasn't it. Like, again, do I look like an electrician? No. Like, I'm not going to wear no hard hat and stuff. No. So it really was just God kind of like nudging, like, no, you need to figure that out on yourself, by yourself, not asking people what you think you should do. So I was okay with that decision, but then it came down to, well, what am I doing? I don't want to be at the job that I'm at right now. I want a real career, and I know that if I want to make money, unless I'm an entrepreneur, I'm doing something, I'm not going to make it. People want big, what is it called? Big dreams, but they don't want the work that comes with it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I was at. I was like, well, what do I want to do? So then finally, I re-enrolled back into school. I think that break kind of helped me realize that I do want to be in school, and even though I'm struggling to figure out where I'm at, like, it's okay because I know that I do want to finish off.
Mm-hmm.
So then I didn't finish at Delta. I took a semester at MJC. And during this time, I'm trying to meet up with counselors. They're booked, and also not meeting up with people because, again, it's the pandemic. Or more like the end of the pandemic. And so they're not meeting up with people. So it was just really hard to kind of like get back in.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even know if I was able to transfer at this time. So I'm kind of like, what the heck? But I'm still going to do it. So during this time, I changed my major to communications. I was like, I need to finish school. Like, that's an easy major. Everybody does it. I'm going to get out of there. So I changed my major, got a hold of a counselor. She wasn't helpful, and I still didn't know if I was able to transfer. So long story longer, we had a lady from church who was in our Bible study group that Mom led, and she happened to work at UOP. And so one day I was talking to another young girl around my age, and we were just chopping it up like, yeah, this school stuff, it's hard. Like, I don't know what I want to do, yada, yada. Like, we're relating, right? And the friend, she overheard, and she was like, hey, ladies, like, I'm perfect. Like, that's what I do. Like,
yeah.
I help students figure out what they want to do. I help them navigate college, all of those things. So, like, meet up with me and we can have a one-on-one day and figure out what it is that you need to do to either transfer or what steps are best for you. So I met up with her, and that alone, also let me add, that was God, because during that time, that was just another situation where I'm discouraged. I'm kind of like, I don't know, like, I'm trying my best, and I feel like there's no resources, there's no support, there's no help out there. So that was kind of like that perfect window of, yeah, you know, like, I got your back.
Yeah.
So I met up with her, and she had me take some assessments to figure out, like, my working styles, what I'm into, what I'm not into, to kind of narrow down what major is kind of going to help me, like, what am I trying to say? Like, go into that path, you know, like, of what I want to do.
Align with it.
Yeah, align it. So I took some assessments. I figured out, like, okay, like, science stuff, that's cool, but that's not my style, and the work environment and all types of things. So I was like, okay, that's out the door. We ended up narrowing it down to business. And so then she was like, she had me meet up with one of her friends that work on campus that's like a counselor type of thing, I guess you could say. Mm-hmm. She went over my transcripts. She was able to tell me how many units I need. And long story short, we were able to figure out that I am able to transfer. So this was in, let's say, I don't know, summertime probably. And then by that November, I went up to the school, had a school tour. I loved the campus. It was beautiful. And then I applied. And then I got in, and it was so, like, exciting, to be honest. Like, I remember my heart was just beating while I was waiting to, like, read the email. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh my God, like, I literally started crying. Like, I was just grateful. Like, you know, that was just something that I was believing for, praying for, and, you know, God opened that door.
For sure.
So now I'm at UOP.
Yes. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. A few takeaways from that whole process. Mm-hmm. One, it's sad, but, like, the system, basically, you're kind of set up to fail. Like, even right from middle school, you go into high school, it's only 4 years. I try and stress that to my students. Yeah. 4 years is such a short amount of time, and it's so quick. Mm-hmm. And just kind of like you experienced, you can go from wanting one thing to wanting the total opposite, and you're still discovering yourself, who you are, and making friends, and the social life, the everything. So it's a lot. And to have an idea of what a major should be for the next 4 years of school, by the time you're a junior or senior, that's tough to ask. Mm-hmm. And it's crazy, like, how you struggled dealing with counselors and finding the right people, the right resources who can kind of point you in the right direction. And that's sad. That's unfortunate. But it worked out. And like you said, God is good.
Yeah.
Getting that lady Getting that lady in front of you and make sure her being able to be a good resource and help you out.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys, do your research. Like this stuff is not a joke. Yes, have your fun. You guys are young, cool, but there has to be some type of urgency to at least have an idea or get yourself out there. See, okay, what is it that I like? What am I looking for? What are these schools offering?
Yeah.
When you were looking at SF, did you I know you got accepted. Did you go there and do a tour?
We went one tour. There was hundreds of people there. It wasn't even like I don't know how to even describe it. It just was a mess.
Yeah.
And again, mom and dad didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do.
What
and then
to
next,
expect.
yeah. And then next thing you know, it's just you're signing in blood that you're going to pay all this money to go to the school. And you're like, hold on. How am I paying all of these bills? Like, how am I fighting for my life trying to afford college? How am I starving? Like all of those things. So
definitely. So yeah, just anyone out there watching, especially if you're in that type of position, you're in school, or maybe you're kind of playing the waiting game. You took a break from school, trying to figure it out. It's so important finding the right people and doing your research. That'll help you kind of point you in the right direction and get you going.
Yeah.
Another thing that I think kind of a theme throughout this process that I think I want to highlight and not enough people do is you really looked after yourself and prioritized yourself and what you wanted, what you needed, and you're still kind of figuring it out now and doing that now, but that's so important. Like so many people, they just settle. Oh, I already took out the loan. I paid all this money. I guess I'm stuck. This is what I got to do. Or first job out of college. All right, I guess okay, this is my career. For me, I always want to find or do something that I'm really passionate about, that I enjoy, and I can see you're trying to find that yourself. So that's important too. Like don't settle. Put yourself first. And you want to have a peace about what you're doing and enjoy what you're doing. So, do you have any? I know, again, those were kind of the things I seen, and you gave a lot of good advice. Do you have anything else? Any other advice for kind of anyone out there based on what you experienced?
Yeah, I would let go of the idea of having a dream school, and not in the sense of go after what you want for sure, work for it, know the qualifications that you need to get into the school, be realistic for sure. But one thing that I learned is you want to go where you're getting the most money. And I want to stress that enough because we're talking about loans, we're talking about, being hungry, we're talking about struggling for real. And unless you're a baller, realistically, college is really expensive, especially nowadays. And one thing that, even with me being at UOP right now, it's a private school, right? And, me thinking, oh, that's cool. The class sizes are small. I'm going to love it here. I'm not loving having to pay this expensive tuition, And I think that that's something that I also wish that I took more time out to really map out how am I going to afford it? How much money are they offering me? How much support do I have for my family? You really have to think about all of those avenues, not just, oh, is this a party school? Or, oh, are the people there attractive? Is it a good sports team? Those things are cool and dandy, but really it's about capitalizing who's going to pay for your education, in my opinion.
Yeah, I hear you. Some of the things you said, is that a party school or the sport? You could find that stuff at almost any school.
Yeah.
They're doing it at all the schools. Most schools have sports, that type of experience. So yeah, it's getting your money, getting it now, that's definitely huge.
Yeah.
Cool. Just kind of transitioning, so you're at UOP, you're doing really well there. I know your grades are pretty good. I know you've had challenges with anything. What's the direction, what's the vision looking like now? Do you have an idea? Are you just kind of playing it by ear? What's it looking like?
I would say, as far as career, I don't have that mapped out. Maybe I'm not meant to work. I don't know. Who knows? But no, on a serious note, I finally am at a place where I'm happy with the route that I'm going, just with my major and everything, and I'm enjoying what I'm learning. So I'm double majoring. I'm doing business admin and marketing, and then also business and analytics. And so I just added the analytics this last semester. And shout out to my professor Lau. He helped me realize, like, that's a key aspect in just work world, period. Like, not even just business, but everywhere. Like, analytics is at an all-time high right now. So he was like, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Like, tell me your major, and I'm going to tell you how much you're going to make once you leave college. Ooh. And so people are saying, HR, people are saying all types of stuff. And he's like, okay, like, that's 30,000. Cool. Right. He's saying, he's being real with them. Like, you're going to make this. Oh, okay, that's good. You're going to be making 6 figures out the gate. Like, you're going to be making 75, And so when I said marketing, I think I was there was 2 other people, who said marketing. And he was like, I'm going to be honest, like, y'all not going to make much. Like, marketing isn't as demanding as it used to be, especially with AI and all of that type of stuff. Like, they don't really need your creativity no more. Like, they have the machines, the robots, all that stuff to do it for you. So he was like, I would encourage you to minor or major in analytics. So he kind of was explaining, he was like, by the end of this class that you have with me, this is the first day of class he's telling us this, and my heart sinks because I'm like, what the heck? I have to change my major again? Like, I'm making a mistake again? So my heart sinks, and I'm like, oh my God. But then afterwards, so he was talking with me and kind of just helping me a lot, like just figuring out like how it can help outside of college. And so he said by the end of this class, you're gonna know if it's for you or not. And it's challenging for sure. It's a lot of digital, it's a lot. But once I finally started getting the stuff that he was teaching in the class, I'm like, wow, like, this is cool. Like, I was doing computer programming one semester. I'm doing, like, all types of stuff that I didn't even see, like, in my eyes. That's, like, nerdy stuff. Like, that's not something that I saw myself doing for real. But I actually was doing it and really enjoying it, too. So that's where I'm at right now as far as major. Like, I'm confident in that. I'm enjoying what I'm learning. Like you said, my grades, I'm proud of myself. Like, I was handling business. Like, I got good grades. I had all A's last semester except one class. But other than that, I'm doing my thing at UOP.
Good stuff. I just had a funny thought. Auntie Joyce would be proud. Mm-hmm. She's R.I.P. Our auntie, she used to think I was like this tech wizard. Like, I would just do the HDMIs and the yellow cords in the back of the TV, and she thought. So she was a pro. She would really be impressed with you.
Wow, Say.
What was I gonna say? So that's another thing, and I had an experience with this. I shared it in one of the past couple episodes. I had a professor, and it was a career management class, so it was definitely dedicated towards students and then kind of finding the right career path.
Yeah.
That's huge. Like, having a good relationship with your professor, especially if you can tell they're invested in you and they want to help the class and see everyone succeed. Like, get in their ear and don't be afraid to ask for advice and see them after class and just pick their brain as much as possible because they've been in your shoes and they've done it. And they're probably one of the best resources that can point you in the right direction. And maybe you are going down a path where you may not end up liking it down the road. They can kind of foresee that and give you the appropriate advice.
Yeah, I want to add on that because I've had a few instances with professors where having that good relationship made a difference for sure. Not only in like my grades, but also just like them supporting me or, being lenient towards things when I needed it. Like, hey, can I turn in this assignment? Like, I know I'm late. And they're like, yeah, full credit or, like things like that. And I want to talk about how to kind of build impressions with your professors.
Yeah.
So for one, while being in college, this is your experience, so you want to learn as much. You want to be answering questions. You want to be making sure that you're understanding everything because you're paying for it at the end of the day. Like,
Yeah.
what are you dishing out all that money for to just kind of like half butt it, you know? Like, and that's kind of what I had to learn myself. Like, with paying with school, it'll humble you. Like, you're like, hold on, I'm paying this much to not be enjoying it, to not take it serious. So anyways, I always participate. That's something that I'm big on. I'll ask the question even if I know the answer to it, because you want your professors to feel like you care about the class and you're engaged. You're even like introducing yourself to them the first day, like,
Yep.
hey professor, like, I'm Christina, like, nice to meet you, blah, blah, blah. I look forward to your class. Something as simple as that. It's like, okay, cool. And so one of my professors actually, it was my business management class that I took last semester. She was really nice. And she, I had a B, a high B. I had an 86%. Like, and I'm like, dang, because the last final exam, it kind of messed me up. I got a B on it. And I was hoping that I would have had an A and then it bumped me up. But it brought me down to a lower B. So anyway, she emphasized how participation was important in her class early on, first day in the semester. And I would feel bad because sometimes, like, there were days nobody would talk. She'd be talking to herself almost. And I'm like, dang, like, y'all are mean. Like, so I would be the person, like, I guess I'll be the talker. I'll raise my hand. I'll answer. And she liked that. So anyways, I had the B. We had our final group project. And I still had a B. And I'm like, dang, like, I want an A. And I didn't even have to ask her. Like, she literally she gave me 200 points for participation to bump me up to, I know she did it to be nice because she liked me. Because she gave me 200 participation points and brought me up to an A. And I was like, wow, like, yes. So I went out of my way to email her, like, you know, I really enjoyed your class. Like, you were a great professor. Thank you, whatever. Like, yeah, that's kind of kissing butt. But at the same time, it's building that connection to where moving forward, like, now you have a reference letter.
Yeah.
You know, now you have somebody who could speak highly of you because you're standing out. Like, you're building that relationship with them to want to help you. And so, yeah, that is important, really building that relationship with them.
Bingo, that's it. I wish, that's one of my regrets. And especially playing football for the school, that in a lot of classes I could just walk in. There's my jersey up there, but I could walk in with my Letterman jacket, and they're like, "Oh, so you play football?" And I'm yeah, and a lot of them do like the football players, and it's like, all right, cool, I'm gonna take care of this person.
Yeah.
But outside of that was my participation. Oh yeah, I play football, and I didn't talk the rest of the semester, and my grades were always okay. But I do feel like if I would have went the extra mile and built some of those relationships, like you said, I may have had more, opportunities for more reference checks and more, even just more advice and more just someone in my corner kind of pointing me in the right direction. Yeah. It's funny looking back, like I can only remember maybe 3 or 4 professors. Yeah, because they didn't really make an impact on me, but I didn't really
make one on them either.
Yeah, I wasn't engaged and I wasn't building that relationship within the class. So yeah, that's some really good advice.
I want to ask you, so our experiences are a lot different, and I feel like we never really talked about that. Like, with you being a student athlete, in my head, like, they got it easy. Like, of course, the working out, the waking up, all that tight schedule, that's hard. But as far as schooling, I feel like, from my experience seeing, like, they schedule your classes, they're they're doing all of those things to kind of help you finish and even accommodate what you're doing. And so how is that? Like, not really having to deal with that type of stuff.
Yeah, and to be honest, that's nice. Like, if you're
let's be nice.
Yeah, if you're in school and if that's one of your aspirations to be a high-level athlete in college or whatever the case, like, they definitely take care of you. So, for example, I got up to the school. Yeah, one of the first people I met was my academic advisor. And he was cool. Meeks, that's what we called him. Big dude. He played football for the school, and then he got into that. So that was cool. So he already knew what it took.
Yeah.
They knew, all right, here's the classes you need for your major. Here's some easy ones, some electives. Hey, take this one. That way, because they knew the grind. They knew we was going to be tired and not want to deal with it.
Yeah.
So they were in our corner and definitely supported us through and through. Another thing we had access to, and actually it was mandatory, but we had tutors.
Oh.
And some of the tutors would be doing our homework. And
wow.
it was people who went to the school and obviously had good grades, or they had just graduated and did really well in school. They knew what it took. And so they'd get our assignments from the teachers, and we'd meet with them for an hour. We'd have, a couple different tutors for every class, or one for every class, and they'd be able to work with us one-on-one. They'd check our grades. Oh, you have a C- right now. What's up? Oh, you're missing these assignments. Here, let's work on them. And so they hooked it up big time.
And with deadlines too, huh? How you said missing assignments,
all that.
Just turn it in whenever.
All that.
Dang.
I had a tutor. I won't say her name, but she was cool, Asian girl. And she basically for the online classes, she would just do all our work.
What the heck?
Yeah.
Did you guys
She'd be like,
pay her
okay,
or
like
anything?
just send, and she would just act. She would kind of act like, no, I can't do it for you. But then she'd hit us up in the group chat or like, all right, just send me your passwords, and she'd do it all.
Dang.
And we getting A's. So it's definitely perks, and like you said, it is unfair. It should be like that for just general education student, everyone. But fact is, it ain't. So if that's kind of the path you want to go down, that's definitely a huge advantage and perks you get that come with that. So
that made me think of one more thing about like school. You want to be your biggest advocate, because if you're not playing sports, like he kind of said, like they're not doing that. They're not walking it out with you. They're not holding your hand kind of saying, okay, here's your classes, or these are the easy classes. You want to make sure that you're asking, like, hold on, this don't make sense to me. I need you to explain it. Or, hey, like, no, actually, I do need that meeting with you because I need some more support. Like, I'm not feeling supported.
Yep.
And that's something that I had to learn, like, real quick. Like how I said, once you start paying, you really have to think about it like, no, you're working for me. I'm paying you with my college tuition to help me, to support me. So you really have to advocate for yourself and not be shy. Like, don't feel like, ooh, I can't do that, or that's a dumb question. Like, so what? That's their job. They have to help you. They have to, navigate it with you a little bit.
Definitely. Really good stuff there. I want to just transition. Okay. Briefly, you mentioned how you took a break from school and you got into work. What job did you end up taking?
So I work at In-N-Out Burger. I
used to work there, right? I mentioned that. So
he helped me get a job because I had 2 interviews, and it so happened that the manager that said, yeah, like, you're hired, she got fired. So I ended up having to, ask him to call the store manager and be like, hey, like, hire my sister. She already got interviewed. And then, I went in a 3rd time, and finally he was like, you want the job? And I'm like, duh, like, I done came twice already. So anyways,
I forgot about that.
That was my first and only real job, for real. Like,
it's a good job, right?
It's a good job. I think it's a great job while you're in high school, and even kind of outside of high school. I enjoy it. It's fast paced. They're professional, very professional, like high quality. They teach you a lot of skills outside of just like, people think, oh, it's fast food. That's kind of how I used to look at it before I even started working there. But it's a lot more than just fast food. Like, the values that they have, and even when you look at other jobs, they be dogging their workers. They're kind of just like, dang, that's how they're doing, y'all. So it really is nice working for a company that does value, as they call it, their associates. And, there are some irritating things, but I feel like that's every job. That's every business. When you're when you're not the big dogs and you're not making as much as them, of course it's going to irritate you, but it's a great job to work for, to be honest. I like it sometimes.
Yeah. Describe the culture, and then I just want you to I want you to break down the levels a little bit.
Okay.
And you're higher. So, well, I'll let you get to that, and then I'll kind of share my piece. But you go ahead.
Okay. So real quick, I worked at 3 In-N-Outs. Yeah. So I was at one for 5 years. One for just literally maybe 6 months. I was waiting while my store that I'm at now was being built. I was at another store temporarily before I transferred over. So I was working in the Bay Area at the time, and through high school, and then like I said, we moved, and I was commuting for work. Okay, actually, like that was another thing. Like, just don't commute, you guys. If you can avoid it, don't do it. So, anyways, I was commuting, and then finally I was like, I'm gonna take that pay cut and transfer to the Valley. Like, it's not worth making a couple more dollars to, have to stay out there. No. So I transferred over, and in the beginning, keep in mind I was 16 when I first got hired. I'm about to be 25, and so younger me and me now, it's different, like, for sure. So I wasn't taking it serious. I had that attitude. I'd be irritated, like, what's up? Like, like, you're not messing with me. You're not talking to me, like, that type of thing. Like, so it really structured me to kind of have the culture of right on. That's something they're big on.
Right on.
Hate that.
Me
They
too.
don't really emphasize that no more. Like, it's kind of, it's right on. It's just kind of just right on.
For the
like,
people, that's like the response you have to give for everything.
Yeah, like, hey, can you do this? Right on, right on. We don't do that no more. Like, when I first got hired, yeah. Nowadays, it's like, okay, or yeah. Or did you hear me? Like, hello.
Hey, you better chill, because if anyone from In-N-Out corporate sees this,
I know. That's why I don't like talking about work.
Alright, so
but
just
anyways,
make it brief.
Yeah. So they taught the culture of right on, and it really helped me learn to have pride in what you do. I think that's something that I had to learn as a young teenager to now an adult, and just kind of training other young teenagers now. That's one thing that I kind of don't like about my job, is working with young people, but at the same time I do like it because I get to mentor them and help them grow into like me, like, so anyways, just taking pride in my work. Like, especially once I started moving up levels, it's like, okay, hold on. Like, even cooking, for example, I'm like, my burgers look good. Everyone's saying they taste good. Like, I'm meeting the qualifications of, like, the In-N-Out burger.
Yeah.
And so it's like, yeah, like, I know what I'm doing for real. Like, in those ways, I take pride in, like, I'm really good at my job. And so I think with any job, you shouldn't look at it as like, oh, like, whatever. Like, of course, we're going to have those moments. I quit almost every day in my head. Like, I literally be like, I'm done with this. Like, ask my mom and ask my sister. I'd be like, no, I'm done. This person got on my nerves today, or, oh, that customer. Like, but you really do want to take pride in what you do. That just kind of says more about you rather than the company, to be honest. And those are the people that anywhere they go, they're going to, take off. They're going to build those relationships. They're going to network because they have a positive attitude about what they're doing.
Yeah.
And
Real quick, sorry to cut you off. That's one thing about In-N-Out, I think, that kind of distinguishes them from other companies, and especially other fast foods, is that pride. Mm-hmm. Like, I remember when I was there, I kind of laughed at it, but I think they called the burger, like,
a smile.
Smile, but they called it, like, the golden ticket or the golden egg. They didn't do that with you. So, yeah, we had one of the meetings on Saturday we used to go to, and they, in the video, like, they said they called it the golden egg or the golden ticket, and I was like, wow, like, they really care about this stuff. Yeah. But In-N-Out really goes the extra mile with customer service, and like you said, smiling and being welcoming, and that's what brings people back. The food is great, best burgers, but it's the service that brings people back, and that pride in delivering a great product.
Yeah. Little side note: I've never tried an In-N-Out burger.
That's fun.
I've had a grilled cheese, so I guess that's a burger, but I've never had a burger.
Wait, nah. Since you've worked there before, because we've gotten In-N-Out before.
No.
No way.
No, I've never had one, or not that I remember.
All right, so, and we'll just kind of clarify, but Because you're a pescatarian.
I'm a pescatarian, so I eat seafood only. I don't eat red meat. I don't eat chicken, none of that type of stuff. So yeah, I just never tried one. But sometimes I'm like, dang, like my burgers be looking good. They be smelling good. Like sometimes I be thinking like, do I want to? Nah.
Just try it. It'll be worth it.
Worth throwing up.
All right, so.
Oh, the levels. You said levels,
yes,
right?
Yeah. So just kind of talk about the process and how it works with the levels. I only got to level. They let me get to level 3, but really I was only a level 2.
Well, did you do fries?
I just kind of got to
Trained,
fries.
but not certified.
Yeah, and
See,
that's 3, right?
They be doing that too, so you got to speak up for yourself. Like, nah, certify me, because they'll have you work the position, but you're not getting paid for the position. So that's important because there's levels, and just with anything. You want to advocate for yourself, guys. Young kids, like, kind of let go of that shy phase of like, ooh, I'm not gonna speak up for myself. Like, you have to be like, hey, like, I'm doing the role of this. Can we start working towards paying me for it? Like, come on. So, anyways, levels. In-N-Out has levels because they take pride, like how we've been talking about, in just their customer service and building you up. And so, they want to make sure that you have one level down rather than trying to learn everything at once and you're not good at it. Or, you know, like, they want to make sure that you meet the part. So, level 1, you're doing host, which is like the dining room area. You're learning prep, like how to do the tomatoes, the spread. And I think, wait, hold on. Dang.
Wait, you forget the levels?
Yeah. At this one, I'm kind of like...
So 2 is you're more on the cash register. 2 is
you get a cash register, yeah. You get a cash register, you're
prepping,
more interactive with the customers, yeah. So that's a 2. 3, you're in the corner area doing drinks, handing out the food. Now they're trusting you to hand out the food. Like, you know, you're making way up. So you start handing out food, you're taking headset orders, and you're also doing handheld. Handheld's the person outside.
Yeah.
I want to say this to everybody. If handheld isn't outside, you order at the speaker. That's very important. Please order at the speaker. That way we can have your order ready and it's in and out. So anyways, handheld, you start learning that. And then level 4 is where they start teaching you food. It's like, yeah, like, okay, they trust you even more, you know? So level 4 is fries. They teach you dice and loader, which is the person who literally dices the potatoes and loads the baskets of the fries.
Hey, they were slaving me. They had me doing that in level 1.
Man,
I pull
the
bags.
guy.
Yeah, just do it.
Yeah, Gabe was quick with that one though. So anyways, level 4 is fries. You learn 2 parts of the fries. The person that dices the fries in like a whole potato into a french fry. And then also they put down the baskets of how many fries you're supposed to have. So when we're busy, you got to drop, you got to pull, you got to have it ready for the portioner. Portioner is the person who serves the fries. They're the person, you know, salting your fries. They're the person putting your animal fries in the steamer. Like, that's a portioner. So you learn both of those as a level 4. Then level 5 is board. Board, that is honestly, in my opinion, more difficult than a level 6, which is a cook. But because In-N-Out takes pride in their burgers, they want the highest level to do the burgers. So board is the person that dresses your burgers. So if you want chilies, you want pickles, ketchup or mustard instead. If you want spread,
you gotta get grilled onions. Get grilled onions.
Grilled onions are good.
It'll change your life. I didn't even used to like onions.
Me neither, but yeah, they be hitting. And now everybody's getting that whole grill. Like, leave us alone, please.
Oh yeah,
like
that takes longer.
It takes long. It's the worst. One time I'm gonna have to show you the picture. My whole grill had 32 whole grilled onions. And I literally was cooking in a section like, it was crazy. I said, heck no. We were busy too, so I couldn't have someone else help me. But anyway, so level 5 is board. That's the person customizing your burger. So if you don't want it standard spread, tomato, lettuce, your choice of onion, then your board person dresses it. They wrap your burgers, they package your burgers, and then they send it off to the table, to the fry table. So that's board. That's hectic. You're getting a bunch of bottoms at a time. You're having to look up, down, memorize, get meat and cheese up for your cook. It's a lot. It's hectic. And, you know, one thing I will say, In-N-Out, it's a fun job for sure because it's fast paced, but it's draining. It's like, dang, I'm tired. Like, I can't do this no more. Once you're finally off work, it's like, oh, I'm beat. How did I have all that energy type? It's kind of like an adrenaline goes off because we're always busy. Like, you have no time to just breathe. It's like, okay, let's make it happen. And then level 6. Level 6 is a cook. They're the person making your burgers. Honestly, they teach you how to properly season, put the buns down. If you want an extra toast bun, we have to know how to do that. If you want light toast, if you want animal style, we have to mustard fry your burger, put grilled onion, whole grilled onion. It's just a whole lot that goes into cooking. Or say, like how I mentioned, if you don't order at the speaker, we have to adjust our whole grill and make your burger to like squeeze you in. So that's why we say don't do it. Like, you're inconveniencing us, okay? Well, let me not say inconveniencing us, but yeah. So anyways, that's level 6, and then it does go on to level 7. I am a level 7. I'm going to talk about why I became a level 7 real brief. Because I'm really good at my job, people always tell me that I should be a manager, but I don't really want to be a manager. And so with that, I became a level 7 to play it safe, that if I do decide I want to be a manager, that is a step that I won't have to take. I'll kind of just be able to jump in and start doing manager classes and go from there. So level 7, they're able to run the shift with the manager there, of course. They train you to know how to run a shift, telling people where to go, giving them their breaks, telling them when to clock out. Like, you're kind of running everything, like, essentially. You're learning the money. Like, all of those things that, like, a manager does, they're teaching you to do that. They're teaching you to do that. So then when you want to become a manager, now it's just the dynamic of, like, sealing everything together. Like, okay, you're going to school now. They literally have burger school. Like, they have graduations when you become a manager. It's extreme. And, you know, like, looking at it from, like, a worker's perspective, sometimes it's like, dang, y'all do too much. But from a business perspective, and even taking business classes, it's really awesome what In-N-Out does. And it really goes to show how we made 75 years, this year. And it just goes to show that they've been consistent with their customer service, with their menu. It hasn't really changed much. And so that just goes to show, like, that their extra is paying off, you know. So once you become a level 7, they now added a level 8. I don't know what that is. It's kind of just one of those things, like, say, like a part-time manager. I don't know, to be honest, actually. I'm not even going to say what I think it is. But they just added a level 8, and then it's management. Management, there's 4 managers. So you have a 4th, which is the lowest level manager. So right after you're level 7, they have you take your classes, and you're a 4th. And so you don't have as much responsibility. Like, you still have to have another manager with you when you work. You can't work by yourself. And then you level up to a 3rd. You take classes again to become a 3rd manager. And then a 2nd manager, that's a manager that's preparing for their own store. So the first manager is the store manager. In-N-Out does not franchise, so they're privately owned. They pay for every business that they open. There's no stocks. So because of that, yeah, there's store managers and it's their store, but it's not, they don't own it for real, but they run it. So
yeah, and they get paid a little something.
They get banked. No, let me not disclose.
I was being modest.
But
you can disclose. It's out there.
No. Kind of. They don't want people
6
saying.
figures, right?
6 figures for sure. High 6 figures if we're being real. Minimum, they make a lot. They make minimum 150. So it's a lot. Like, people ain't making that. People with degrees aren't making that. So that's also why I became a level 7, because, hey, I might have to thug it out and just wear them white pants and stuff for the rest of my life. I'm just playing. But Yeah, for sure. So they take care of their managers and even their workers too.
Do you think is that typically? I mean, once you get to maybe level 5 or 6 and you're doing it full time, what do you think the majority of the workers have that in mind? Like, oh, I just let me finish. If I get to level 7, I'll
No.
I can run a store.
Heck no.
Okay.
So I think being a level 7, for example, it's a mindset thing. Like you have to start becoming a leader. And so that can kind of be uncomfortable when you're level 5 and 6, having to tell people like, hey, fix your burger, it looks sloppy, or hey, make sure we're serving hot fries. Like you have to correct, and a lot of times once you make friends because you're lower level, like they don't like that. It's kind of like stepping on their toes, like, oh, we're friends, like how are you gonna tell me, or I don't want to do that, like, and it's like, all right, well, you have to do that. So a lot of people don't know, like they're like, I don't want to do this. It's hit or miss. Like people either love In-N-Out and they're in love with it, like it's their life. They have it in their Instagram bio. Maybe I'm like, hold on, are they paying you extra? But they either really love it and are diehard In-N-Outers, like for lifers, or it's kind of just like, it's a good job right now. They make more than minimum wage type of mindset, and so it really just depends on the person.
For sure, yeah. And when I was working there, I didn't realize this till later, but initially and I went over my schedule. I woke up early to walk to BART to go to City College. What you mean? 6 a.m. Sometimes even earlier. I had to finish homework, but I'd walk to BART, go to class, and then I'd have football till 5, 6, and then I'd hurry right back to go to In-N-Out. So I'm tired. I'm sore from practice and lifts. So I wasn't trying to be there, but I was just kind of collecting a check. I was like, cool, I can make a little extra money. This is pretty good money. They're a little higher than minimum wage. So for me, yes, I took the job seriously. And when you kind of talk about pride, I don't think I really took pride in it. Like, I was just kind of there, like, to have fun, kind of make some people laugh. I was still a little quiet, so, just kind of stay to myself. But cool with all the customers, see people I know. But I remember, like, some people I felt, like, kind of had a little resentment or a little, like, it was like, this dude don't even, like, take it seriously, but I'm taking it serious. Like you said, like, this is my life. Like, I'm trying to make the perfect burger. So, and like, eventually I kind of realized that. I was like, I do gotta pick it up. Or I'd be kind of slow paced, and they were all with, with the fries and, hurry up, hurry. They used to get on me. So, that was one thing I kind of discovered, like, oh, wow, they really take this serious.
Yeah. No, for sure. That's also why I became a level 7. It kind of became a point where I'm like, hold on, I'm at year 8 right now, and there's people who I'm way better than telling me what to do. No. Like, in those ways, So, I kind of was just like, at that point, I just got to become a level 7 myself. Like, be compensated for what I'm already doing. And also another role at my job that I do, I kind of took a step back because I'm back in school. But I train people, and I'm really good at it. And that's something that I take pride in. Like just the other day, this girl, she was learning lettuce. And the lettuce bodies, so they have to drop a lot. They're dropping 4 boxes of lettuce to have just for the day. Like, like not even including the night shift. Like, so we're dropping a lot. We're making the protein style lettuce that everybody loves. So yeah, we got to cut those, y'all. It's not just made when you get it out the box. So she was learning how to do lettuce, and she was slow at it. And they're like, dude, like, she's only dropping 1 box, and we need her to drop 4, So the other morning I had the opportunity, I started work earlier, and my manager, she was like, help her, like, with lettuce. So I'm kind of watching her, like, just kind of talking, chopping it up with her, but making it where I'm correcting her, but in a friendly way. Like, she's not feeling like I'm drilling her. You know how everyone else was kind of doing it. And anyway, so I came back to work on Monday, and she was like, oh my God, Christina, I couldn't wait to tell you, like, I did it super fast on Saturday, like, just everything that you were telling me, like, it helped. Or even, like, watching other level 5s, or even people becoming level 5s, like, being good at board, or even being a good cook, or they're like, whoa, like, your burgers look like Christina. Like, people be saying stuff like that, and I'm like, yeah, like, talk to me nice, like, I'm like the Steph Curry of In-N-Out, okay? Like, I'm good
Wow.
at everything. I can confidently say that. God strike me down if I'm lying. I'm just saying. But, no, so yeah, I really, in those ways, I do enjoy, like, it's fulfilling being able to watch, like, the fruit of my hard work. Because sometimes it feels like, dang, I do be doing a lot, but, like, it helps, and I do like doing that. Like, I take pride in it.
Yeah. Cool. Last couple of questions here. Obviously, you have a lot on your plate.
Yeah.
You also were all involved in church, but you serve at our church. There's a spiritual aspect of your life. How do you, and I want you to talk about that too a little bit, but first part of the question, how do you just prioritize everything between school, between work, a social life? You know, you like to have fun and go out and stuff too, but, and then also church and maintaining a good relationship with God.
Yeah. I think each season's different. Sometimes there's times where my classes are extremely hard, so I have to put more time into passing. You know, it's like I'm studying more, so I'm not going out. Or even too, it's like, ooh, I gotta work some more. I'm kind of broke right now. You know, like I'm part-time when I'm in school. And so it really just depends on the season. But, you know, church don't stop. God don't go on vacation. So I am always in church, you know, like sometimes, you know, vacation you're going to miss. But, you know, I'm in my word, or I'm reading devotions. I'm praying still. Like, it's all about, like, balance, I think, and trying to avoid burnout. I think when you kind of, you know, get worked up and trying to be 100% in everything, that's how you easily feel like, dang, like it's not working out, or ooh, I'm drained, or it feels forced. So it's really about finding balance. But as far as church, so I serve coffee. I only do it every first Sunday of the month. Just to kind of, you know, be involved, but also, like, it's really fun. It's kind of like work. Like, I'm serving people, hey, like, you think, oh, it's always nice. Like, one thing that I love about doing coffee is you have the opportunity to greet people. You're greeting people who are new, you know, like you're kind of giving them that first impression, low key, of church. They walk in, the coffee stand's there, and you get to greet them, hi, or how are you? Smile at them. And, you know, like, that's a good feeling when you see, like, people are touched or just blessed to see you, too. Or, ooh, your coffee's super strong and good, like, it's nice. And I'm like, yeah, thanks. Anyways, but faith, like, one thing that I will say, it's your job to maintain that relationship. It literally, like, a relationship with God is like having a relationship with a partner. Like, you want to be in communication with them. Like, you know, if you go a couple days not talking, it's kind of like you might get more aggravated with them, or, you know, feel distant. So it's kind of like that with God. Like, you want to feed your spirit spiritually, like, in your word, in prayer. And that, I think it's cool that, like, God offers grace. Like, okay, sometimes we have seasons where we are busy, but we're still making time to, you know, be connected with him, or, you know, like, we're not brushing him off and making everything else a priority. I think that's very important with finding, like, the balance.
Yeah, that's good. I think, at least for me, what I've experienced, I think you could relate, like, having God at the center, even in a busy season, or I'm running around all over the place, it kind of lays down the foundation, and then you're able to experience the fruits of the Spirit. You can, you know, experience peace or rest despite chaos all around you, and I'm running around. There's still just that sense of His presence that we need. So that's good. Cool. Well, Leia's hyper and running around, so I'm gonna make this quick. I don't know if y'all could hear her out there. It's her bedtime too. But just a couple getting to know you for the audience. A couple we'll rapid fire these. First, and this question came up in a group chat of mine yesterday, and then I asked Jess. I gave mine. This is tough because we said top 5, but I came up with like 15.
Okay.
But a few favorite movies, 3 to 5.
Equalizer with Denzel. That's one I could watch all the time. Or like I kind of like it for background noise sometimes because I know I memorized the movie. Hey, violence I like in the background. You said 5?
3 to 5, couple.
I love all Denzel
whatever
movies,
comes to mind.
to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, Remember the Titans,
Yeah.
all of those type of movies with him. I'm rocking with Denzel. Training Day, yeah. John Q. What else? Let me see.
That's good right there.
Okay.
Unless if you get
yeah, that's good.
Okay. What about artists or musicians? Just a few, 3 to 5.
Worldly and Christian.
Whoever you like.
Well, for Christian, Yolanda Adams, that's my girl. She's a gospel singer. She throws down. She's old, like not her music back in the day. She's more like 90s, early 2000s. So I listened to a lot of her older albums, but she got lungs for sure. Vocals, yeah. I went into my heart for lungs. But anyways, Yolanda Adams is one of my favorite Christian artists. And then right now, I really like, for as far as secular, I love Mariah Carey. She's similar, like, in vocals. Like, she could blow. Mariah Carey, Chris Brown. I like Brent Faiyaz. Yeah.
All right. A couple good ones in there. Next, we're going to do a few Would You Rathers.
Okay.
And then we'll close this thing. Just a few. I seen this question twice recently, so I was like, I got to ask this on an episode. Would you rather be fluent in every world language, or would you rather be able to communicate and talk with animals?
I would want to be fluent in every language.
Okay.
I'm already okay. Animals are scary, kind of. I love them, but when you think about like how big they are and they could kill you, I'd be like, no. I think networking wise, knowing every language, like, wow, you probably would be like a billionaire, take over the world type.
See where your mind's at.
Yeah.
But I agree, but animals is close.
It's cool, like
you could make some money doing that. Get them to work for you and.
Wow, the animals.
Yeah, they could do stuff for you.
I see where your mind's at.
Dr. Doolittle.
Yeah.
All right. Next one. Would you rather be able to breathe underwater or breathe / like survive in space?
I would rather be in space because I'm an introvert, so I need space. And the ocean's scary to me. Like, it's not discovered enough.
No,
just because you could breathe don't mean you're not going to be fighting for your life.
You're right.
So, yeah.
I think I would go breathe underwater just because I love the water. It'd be cool. But I agree. The deep ocean and it's a lot of stuff down there we don't know about. So... All right, last 2 questions, and these are related to you.
Okay.
I've got a few names. I'm sure you know all these people. I just looked this up on Google, so I don't know how accurate it is. I took the first thing.
Okay.
The first results. Ariana Grande, A$AP Rocky, Cam Newton, Robert Downey Jr.
What am I picking, or do I know them?
No, I was going to say, they all have something in common. First off, do you have an idea what it is? Probably not.
No. Singer, we have an actor, we have
it relates to
football. You. To me?
Mm-hmm.
They like to nap?
No.
What?
They're all pescatarians.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So, of those names... Who would you rather have dinner with or spend the day with? We have Ariana Grande, A$AP, Cam Newton, Robert Downey Jr.
I think it would have to be between Cam Newton and A$AP.
Interesting. Why?
Because old man, a girl, like... I don't know, or I'd ask to go to a concert, or I'd ask to go to a football game, like...
Cam don't play no more.
Well, his podcast, he got a podcast,
right?
A cool podcast. I'd ask to go on that or something.
Alright, fair enough. All right, next one. What do these celebrities have in common? And same
Okay.
thing, if you choose. These ones maybe not, this ain't really your crowd, but you have Alex Rodriguez. You know who that is, right? What? J-Lo's dude?
Oh,
Played for
okay.
the
A-Rod.
Yankees?
A-Rod.
Legend?
Yeah,
A-Rod,
okay.
You should know who this is, but you might not. Triple H. Oh, wow, Chris. He's a wrestler.
Does he know me? Like,
He was a wrestler.
oh, I don't watch wrestling.
And then lastly, I don't know if you know who this lady is. I don't by name, but I can show you her face. I'm sure
Okay.
you know. Maya Rudolph. Do you know who that is?
No.
She's like an actress. Hold up. Let me see.
And I'm guessing what they all
I know
have in
you know
common.
this lady.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, she's from, what is
She's
she?
kind of funny.
Oh, she was in Grown Ups. That's kind of where I know her. She does voices and, yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of funny, yeah.
So it's what they all have in common?
Yes. Can you guess? It relates to you.
They have cats? I don't know.
Their birthday is the same as yours.
Oh, nice.
Their birthday is July 27th.
Oh,
You said it's Saturday, right?
Yeah, it's Saturday.
So this Saturday, so wish her happy birthday in the comments. I would sing, but I can't sing. So they have those same birthdays. So is there
I should have
anyone?
known with A-Rod. Okay, go
Okay.
ahead.
No, is there one of them that you would choose to kick it with for a day?
A-Rod.
Okay. Why A-Rod?
Just because I don't know the other ones.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Yeah, good point. A-Rod's a good one. All right, Chris. Well, great job.
Thank you.
A lot of free game you just gave, and some really good advice. As your big brother, I'm really proud of you and
Thank you.
what you're doing, what you got going on, and I'm excited for your future. So
Thank you.
I'm gonna close this out with a quick prayer. I'm gonna pray for you. And yeah, guys, enjoy. Please share with a friend.
Thanks, guys.
Subscribe if you haven't. I always forget to say that, but subscribe if you're not subscribed. And yeah, appreciate y'all. All right. Father God, I thank you for this video we just did. Thank you so much for Chrissy and her wisdom and insight that she was able to share. Even just as she's finding herself and discovering her what she's looking for in a job, in a career, in school. Just thank you that you have your hands over her and you just have her best interests in mind. You've given her such an amazing spirit and a boldness, not only to succeed in the work world, but to also just spread your gospel and show others who you are. So just lead her and can help her to continue to have faith and put you first. I pray for any people watching this, just for their situation, whether it's work related or school, whatever they're going through, God, just be with them, touch them and their families. We love you. We give you all the glory and honor. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
All right, y'all.
Thanks,
Good job, Chris.
I'll give you a hug.
Hey, real quick, I'm glad you did that. She's not bigger than me. This looks funny.
Yeah.
I kept noticing. I'm way taller
It's
than her.
the chair.
She's kind of tall, but yeah, it's the chairs. So.
Yeah. Hey, I'm tall.
We'll end it on that, though. Love y'all. Peace out.
Bye, y'all.